Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I'm going to show you how to EQ kick drum in just 3 simple steps. We're going to be going over how to EQ kick drum today, but before we dive in, if you are looking to dial in a repeatable workflow for cranking out professional sounding drum mixes, then I want you to go through my 3-step framework for mixing drums workshop. This workshop is going to walk you through the simple 3-step process that I go through on almost every single one of my drum mixes to help you get professional drum mixes right from your home studio. It is a 100% free to watch, on-demand video training, and you can get access to that by clicking the link below in the video description. Like I said, completely free to watch. Now let's jump in here and let's get this kick drum EQ'd here. I'm going to start, of course, by playing you the finished mix here so you can hear how the drums sound in context of the song. And then I'm going to solo up the drums, and we'll go even further and solo up just our kick drum here so you can hear what it sounds like. But here's our finished mix for this song.
I love you so, but I hate to leave you. You know I hate to leave you. Oh, 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 oh. I love you so, but I hate to leave you. You know I hate.
So you can hear our kick drum is big, it's got some nice low weight to it, it's got that nice thud that we want, but it also has that nice beater attack up on the top end, and it's got some beautiful air up on the top end as well. So in 3 steps, I'm going to show you how we achieve all of that as we EQ our kick drum here. So you can see we've got a few plugins on here. We've got 2 EQs and 2 compressors, limiters going on here. I'm going to take everything off, and we're going to take a look at just our first EQ. And you can see we only have a couple moves going on here on our first EQ. I'm going to take off these top 2 moves here, and we're going to focus on just this bottom move here, which is a high pass. So that's step number 1. Step number 1 is getting rid of the frequencies, getting rid of all of that space that you don't need on your kick drum. And for me here, that means pulling in a high pass filter. So I'm rolling off all that extra sub area that I don't need on this kick drum so I can hone in on the main frequencies that I need, and it's going to make our low end sound bigger. I know it sounds funny saying removing low end makes your low end sound bigger, but it actually does. So take a listen here without the high pass, and then I'm going to kick it in. Hear how our low end seems to bloom more with the high pass in? That's because we're focusing in on the heart of that low end sound. So we're removing all that stuff below about 30 hertz here that we don't need, so that makes more room, it gives more headroom for everything above it to come through more. So it makes our low end sound bigger because we're removing the stuff that we don't need, which makes more room for everything that we want in this kick drum sound. Now, step number 2 is going to be boosting top end. But before I boost top end on a kick drum, I always like to throw my compressor in. So I'm going to throw this compressor in here. I'll just show you briefly what that's doing. We're doing about 8 dB reduction here with the compressor. Slower attack, faster release to make sure we don't squash the transient. And doing this heavy compression helps to tighten up our kick drum sound. And then we push top end into it. So after step 1, after we get rid of all the frequencies we don't need for here, all that is a high pass filter here. Then we boost top end, and you can see I'm really cranking up the top end here because I want to get that top end punch. I want to hear that beater click, and I want to get that nice beautiful air up on the top end of the kick drum here. So we're boosting 8K by 20 dB. So take a listen to this move here. It's going to sound quite drastic here by itself. So this is 8K 20 dB on our kick drum here. To me, this move here is doing a couple things for this kick drum. Number one, it's really making it feel more alive in a couple different ways here. Obviously, you hear more of the bleed, you hear some more cymbal noise, and you can hear the click of the side stick a little bit better. So it helps you get that sense that it's a live drum kit and there's a live drummer going on here. But it also wakes up the top end and we get all that nice, beautiful air. And you suddenly can hear the click of the beater making contact with the head on the kick drum. So it gives our kick drum life while also helping it feel like it is a live kit, even though it actually is. Just without it, it's just a bit more dull sounding. The next move we're doing here is just a little bit lower in the high mids here. We're at about 2.5 here, and this is going to give us some of that mid-range or that high-mid attack on our kick drum. So take a listen to this. This is about a 4 dB boost at 2.5K here. So this is helping our top end feel more balanced because without it, of course, it feels very scooped, right? We have our bump in the low end here, then we move all this mid-range is gone, and then we have this huge bump up on the top end. So it gives us a very scooped sounding kick drum sound. And that's okay for some genres and for some aspects here, but I wanted more full range on the top end here. So we're boosting this 2.5 to kind of fill out the top end and to fill out the attack on our kick drum here. So this top boost here, this is giving us all that air, and that top end click, here we're getting that kind of mid-range bite, that attack that we want on our kick drum, especially to help our kick drum feel more full range here. And that's only a 4 dB boost there. So we've got 8K and we've got 2.5K here. Those are two steps so far, right? Step number one is we're getting rid of what we don't need. And here, that means a high pass filter to roll off all that extra sub area. We're throwing in our compressor after that. And then step number two, so we're boosting into a compressor here. We're boosting our top end into our compressor. 8K to add all that nice top end air and that top end click. And then 2.5K here. Anywhere in this range from like 2K to 5K is going to give you that kind of mid-range bite and that extra attack that you want to balance out the top end on your kick drum. You can see it's kind of balanced from like 2K all the way up here. Now, last step here for EQ, step number 3 is boosting low end here. And you can see I threw a little bit of high pass in here just to be safe. But our step number 3 is boosting our low end to sit now with our top end here. So take a listen to this. We're at 80 Hertz and I'm boosting about 6 dB here. Take a listen to how this changes our kick drum. So there's all of that low end weight and there's all of that bigness that we want in our kick drum to help it be a force to be reckoned with and to help it be that kind of low end foundation in our mix here. It's that big sound in our bottom end that's driving our track here, right? It's kind of like the heartbeat for our track. So we want it to feel big. We want it to have a nice low end presence to it. And that's what we're getting here. You could see our fundamentals sitting a bit lower than 80 Hertz, but to me, 80 Hertz is that frequency that you kind of feel in your chest here. So I love boosting 80 Hertz on kick drum here. Listen to that frequency one more time, without it and then with. Let's listen to everything now all together. So I'm going to take off all of our plugins here. That means our two EQs and then our compressor and our limiter as well. Those aren't changing the tone too much. You heard our compressor tightened up our kick drum a little bit, but it's the EQs that are shaping our tone here on our kick drum. So listen without our two boosts on the top end, our low end boost, and of course our high pass here, and then with it all. Really helping our kick drum feel powerful and present here. Let's throw it inside the mix and see what we're feeling inside the track here.
I love you so, but I hate to leave you. You know I hate to leave you. Oh, 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 oh. I love you so.
Just 3 steps here to get our kick drum sounding big and to help it be present inside of our mix here. Step number 1, getting rid of what we don't need, and for here that's a high pass filter. After we get our compressor in, then step 2 is boosting top end into our compressor, so 8K for the air, 2.5 for that mid-range attack, and then finally step number 3, post compression, is we're boosting our low end to get that bottom end weight. I hope that was helpful for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you're ready to take your drum mixes to the next level and really start dialing in a repeatable workflow for mixing drums, then you need to go through my 3-step framework for mixing drums workshop. It is a completely free workshop, and you can click the link below to get access to that. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next video.